think I'm live. Oh, let me close that down. And we'll go back here. I think I'm live on YouTube now. I got the chat up. I'm not going to watch it, but let me see what I'm doing here. So you guys know I am up at my parents' place. And I've got a bit of a messy setup. Morning, Jesse. This one's going to be a super quick one. I'm not actually sure how long I'll stay on, but I'm on the laptop and it's already annoying me. So I may be going to the Apple Store at some point while I'm up here. Agree, continue, install. One. There we go. Okay. Reggie, wake up. KOL is killing you because that's what I was going to lead the broadcast off with today is that here I can actually do this. Let me see. My old laptop, man. I don't know if I'm going to sell it or it's a 2015 MacBook Pro. And sorry to bang you around like this. That's what she said. But it's a 2015 MacBook Pro. And it doesn't have enough memory to run OBS. That's the main issue, is that OBS and but it's still running and it's doing a decent job. I mean, I'm literally broadcasting on OBS through YouTube Live on it. It's a great one, and part of the reason why I'm reluctant to give it up is because I don't use it at home. I use my iMac, which is a 2017 iMac, which is just monster. It's killer. And by the way, I've got my mother's new laptop over here, which I'm going to use GarageBand on because it's too much of a beast to do GarageBand and everything here. In fact, let's start the scanners. While I'm looking this up, we're going to just do some scans. And thanks to everybody who subscribes, not necessarily subscribes, but who signed up for TrendSpider. I got some additional alerts while I was driving that some folks is. And if you're waiting for the algorithm, hit me up. If I haven't said I'm going to get back to you and I haven't gotten back to you, just hit me up in the socials. I know I've got, I think, 4 people to get back to who have actually hit me up in the socials. But if you think I'm slacking and I'm waiting on stuff, just bug the hell out of me. And I know that you're home on break and yeah. Ooh, look at what we have here. I'm gonna write this down. We got a Microsoft cross up. If you guys don't know, I love Microsoft. Let's see, scans. Microsoft. We'll look at the cross up when I get back there. Let's look at some brokerage holdings. And I don't have the chat window up because when I'm doing this, I can't see the chat window. And that's part of the problem with this too, is that I probably wasn't ready to go live, to be honest with you. Deere, which I was going to talk about because they blew away earnings. Futu. Do I want to talk about Futu? Boy, that's a nice chart. we'll bring it up. You know why? Because some folks like to play options and the puts. In fact, anybody who bought the options, the put options for Zoom, like I suggested, I got a bunch of tips on that too. So thank you to everybody who tips me, and kudos for making money on that one. And I do want to reiterate, if you lose money on me, do not tip me. Don't feel like you have to tip me. For telling you to get out of a position. I'm happy to help. If you could help me get out of a couple of my positions, I'd be happy as well. Let's see, NASDAQ 100, Mondelez. I do like Mondelez. MDLZ. That's a good one to have. It's been a monster. God, look at that. That move is good. Let's go and do the S&P. I'm not going to do the energy sector. Although, you know what? I am going to do the energy because the energy sector was weak for the past 3-4 days. There is no reason it should be weak. I think traditionally you're going to see it start to go up. So let's go and look at the energy sector. Energy sector. Bum, bum, bum. Is there anything in here that I like? Denbury, I've invested in that one before. Shell's a good one. No. Energy's down today, by the way. This one's it's a nice oil, but EQT is just, we should put EQT in there. That's the ascending triangle. It's bullish. You got the gap up here at 46. That's why I'm putting it in there. I think I'd seen that one before. I don't see anything crazy. Ugh. By the way, anybody that signed up for TrendSpider, if you'd like, I can share my scan with you as well. The scan that I do. I'm going to create a group, and they've told me that I can share the scan. So I don't know if you can see this. Let me see. Down at the bottom, it might be behind my head, but there's a share scanner, and I can share that. There's also a share here. Share all of a list, and I'm going to create a podcast list in TrendSpider so that we can all scan along, look at it, even if you miss my and man, now I've got to quit Active Trader Pro. I'm just going to move to trash. Yeah. So I've got to record the podcast, but I've got to get my setup right. And I'm on Do Not Disturb, so hopefully that holds up. I'd like to see Boyle, but to be honest, I'm going to get back problems just freaking going back and forth here. In fact, I've got to bring up my iPad. Let me see if this thing's charged. Because I'm going to bring up YouTube so so we can chat together too. This was me, so I'm getting alerts that I signed on. Yes, it was me. Done. So I'm going to bring up YouTube. Turn the volume down. There we go. Okay, I got 44% on here. So now I've got 3 screens. So if you see me turning that way, I'm looking at the YouTube live. Let me pin the chat. I'm going to pin this. Trend Spider 60% off. Oh, let me copy it again from a copy, paste, boom, and then I can pin this message. Boom, pinned. Yep, Jesse, it's what all my alerts are. All my alerts are, God, I wish I could show you. But the MacBook won't let me. But yeah, all of my alerts are MACD cross-ups. So essentially what I do is I set up, here's the way I've got my setup in TrendSpider. So everybody's aware. And not many people are watching. Hit that thumbs up. But essentially what I do is I set up the algo and I set up an alert and a lot of MACD cross-ups, things like that. You can do alert on anything. You can say, hey, if the stock gained 2% in the previous candle and had a MACD cross-up, let me set that up. And boom, it'll alert you. Time, I just want time. Sorry, I'm setting up GarageBand on the other computer. God, this chair too. But yeah, you can set up, all those alerts are completely set up. And if you ever have questions on TrendSpider, or their customer service is phenomenal. First off, they're so good at getting back to you. And if Zephan were on, he'd probably tell you that because he had some problems. But their service is great. It's not like instant chat where you kind of chat with somebody. They just get back to you on message. But they're so helpful. All I can tell you is when you get that elite service, that middle service, which is what I recommend for anybody with a job. If you're professionally trading, you should get the top level. Absolutely get the top level. But for most of my stuff, just get the middle level. I think it's like $350, I think, when it's 60% off or something. But it's a great program. Like I said, last year, I didn't have it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I felt naked. And if you sign up for the year, I guarantee you, you're going to renew it next year because you just get so used to using it. And if you claim anything as far as like professional stuff, you can write this off. I write it off as a professional expense. And remember, write-off doesn't mean it's free. It just means that you get to write down your income by $350. So write down your dividends, whatever. But like I said, you should be, with the tools that I give you, you should be able to make $350 within a week, if not a day. It depends on your lot sizes, but the way I was trading, I was easily making that. Okay, let me see. I'm going to, how am I going to do this? I'm going to do everything over here. The podcast is over here, and YouTube Live is over there. You know what? I'll put this over here. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that, YouTube. I'm recording this. YouTube Live is on the microphone, so you guys may get a ton of bangs and things of that sort. But let me see. Do live chat. There we go. Can I move this over? I can't move it over to the right. Oh well. Let's see. We still got everything. Okay. I gotta get my notes up. Notes. I don't have that much to go over. Okay. Good morning. It is Wednesday, November 23rd, and I'm recording this. I'm going to test this. Hold on. I'm going to listen to this because I'm not sure this is even good, because now I see the freaking levels are super low. Let me test. Okay. Let me test. I thought I tested the vocals, but now I'm seeing them low. Okay. Let's move back. I'm going to test this again just to see if I'm actually making the needle move a little bit more and see what it sounds like during play. If you listen to Howard Stern, I'm testing the orange feedback to see if the middle line is moving correctly. That's what he does. He imitates his dad. Okay. That sounds a little bit better. Okay. Here we go. Good morning. It's Wednesday, November 23rd, the day before Thanksgiving. I am in New Jersey. If you're on YouTube Live, you'd listen to me complain and bitch and just be negative about absolutely everything. I've got my laptop doing OBS on YouTube Live, which basically just crawls it. It just makes it just die. I've got GarageBand on my mother's computer to the right here. And then over to the left, I've got my iPad Pro so I can watch the chat on YouTube Live and just see how it looks. So I'm going to have back problems and probably need chiropractic assistance after this episode. But I wanted to, and you know what? I'm not even recording. Mother effer. Okay. You guys are going to listen to a complete replay and why I can't be a professional actor because I suck at this stuff. Good morning. It's Wednesday, November 23rd. It is the day before Thanksgiving, and if you're on YouTube Live, you've been listening to me complain. You've also listened to this exact speech twice, maybe 3 times. But, yeah, I've got quite a setup here. So I'm recording on OBS Live on YouTube on my laptop, streaming my TrendSpider screen. I don't have enough memory to actually use Active Trader Pro on this machine. While I'm doing that, I've got my mother's not iPad, but iMac. No, it's a MacBook Pro Air, the newest one. So I was trying to install OBS on there all morning. Didn't get to it. So I've got that set up over to the right, and I'm using GarageBand on that one to record the podcast. Over to my left, I've got my iPad Pro so I can see the YouTube and the YouTube live chat. And then I've got my iPhone. So I am all decked out in Apple, which means you should buy Apple stock just to take a look at it now. Apple stock has been, it's hovering around 150. It's using that 150 as a pivot point, and it's clear. I will tell you, we are in the algorithm. 145 is the price point for the buy at November 11th. And you've got a gap down below just between 136 and 140. You've got, that was around earnings just after the dividend X date. It hasn't been filled. I don't know if it's getting back down there. You're obviously the 200-day is right at 153. That's what you're using as a resistance level. It is dropping down to 145, and then it's hitting the 150 mark, and then it's just, it's bouncing all over the place. But it's clear that the 200-day is a resistance level, which is what you're seeing. Now, Jim Cramer says the stocks, the charts are ready to explode, which typically would mean to me, let's go inverse. But I don't know. And that kind of sparked one of the discussions in the private Facebook group that I have is, where's SPY going to end up at the end of the year? Are we heading up higher or are we going lower? And so I figured I'd take a look at SPY. And in the algorithm, we'd be in SPY right now. As of November 10th, there was a buy at $390.61. SPY today is trading at $399. So you're just below that 400 level, which means the S&P is just below 4,000. But to take a look at where it's going to wind up, we really probably want to look at a daily or a weekly or a little bit longer term than a 4-hour chart, because you'll clearly see that 200 day is providing a resistance level. It is, let me just pull this a little bit longer so I get some history there. The 200 day is trading, is hovering right around 404, and it's providing the resistance level. And you've got two gaps that are below the 200 day, which may provide some catalyst for us going to 421, which was where we were in September when it gapped down. And so I think we've got the beginnings of some confirmation in a rally here, because you're over the 9 day. You're just over the 21 day. The 50 day is kind of moving negative, though. That's what you have to worry about. The 200 day, clearly you're in negative. You haven't crossed the 200 day since, when was this? April. April was the last time we crossed the 200 day on the daily. You can clearly see that there's resistance all the way down. If we are heading into a recession, then oil will loosen, but I don't know how much lower it can go than $70. I just don't, again, the European sanctions are coming on. They're going to put the Russian oil at $70 is what they're saying. Putin's going to respond with probably cutting their natural gas. Who knows exactly what's going to go on, but there will be absolutely 100% retaliation from the Russians. Who knows if OPEC is going to cut, saying the Saudi leader has immunity. The Biden administration said that, so nobody can sue him. There was no quid pro quo according to the administration, but who knows if that's real. But I would say, SPY, you're clearly looking at this resistance level at 404, which is where the daily is kind of trading at, 404, 405. You have some support level here at 392 if you want to go down. 386 has another support level. There's another, let's pull this back a little bit more. We're going to pull this back, the volume indicator. I'm going to pull it back to January so we can see since January, where are people holding the SPY? And you can clearly see right where we're at now, 394 to 399, has a volume support level. If we go down, then the next support level is probably 390, and then there's a support level at 379. Here in TrendSpider, if we hit AutoFibs, if you want to do a little Google search on Investopedia, look up Fibonacci. These are automatically like support lines that are drawn automatically by TrendSpider, by their software. 398. The next leg down is 380. And then the next leg down is 370. So you do have some support level on the way down. Now, on the way up, you really don't have a magnet other than, some kind of little spikes. Clearly, the number one spike in volume but the number one place where people are holding is between 394 and 397. You closed at 399. So I don't know where we're going to wind up. But the catalyst for it to actually make a move towards 420 or even 440 would be to break that 200 day on a daily. If you see that, load in until probably next year where there's a recession. The Fed, maybe raises a bit too long, blah, blah, blah. But you can load in. Again, I would say that would be the start of the trading within a range. So we look to probably top out at about 4,400, and past that, you really can't trade above that one. So we're not going back to January highs of 4,700. I just don't see that in the cards. I do see the 4,400 as a support level. I should say resistance. So one that I wanted to bring up, and it's going to be a short podcast because it's the day before Thanksgiving. You really shouldn't be trading anyway, because remember, this is like a Friday, because tomorrow you're going to have off, and then Friday you have a shortened session. But BOIL went absolutely crazy while I was driving. We are in this one. The algorithm has a buy-in at 42.23. Today you're trading at 51, and it is up. I would show it on Active Trader Pro, but I can't because of the computer situation. But if you want to look at a chart, You guys shouldn't just be listening to me. This should be a collaborative effort where you actually go and look at the chart. Go and look at BOIL. It has jumped 10%, and somebody, it was Reggie Rooster on YouTube said, KOLD is killing me. Well, it wasn't clear which one was going to take hold, KOLD or BOIL, from a 4-hour standpoint. This is one that I typically don't hold past a day. I will take 1 or 2 or 3%, but I don't hold on for those days where I'm going to get, because remember, you're trading in futures. You're not trading in actual value, assets of value. This is 100% futures. All of those boomers that say Bitcoin and the digital services don't hold any value, well, futures don't hold any value either. They're moved by the markets. But if you had to touch and actually own something, a share of Apple owns a portion of the company. A share of BOIL doesn't own a portion of the company. But KOLD, you were out with a 16% loss on November 18th. What was that, a couple of days? Yeah, that was last week. I'm pretty sure I brought that on up. But BOIL has the clear direction. If you're looking to hold one, BOIL has the clear direction. I've been saying that BOIL will move to cover this gap that is up here, and it's there's one gap up here between 87 and 94, but the gap really goes all the way up. Well, that one was kind of covered, but it's 109, and we're heading into winter. Europe we're providing, I think we're the number 1 provider of liquid natural gas to Europe right now. Africa is the number 2. So BOIL, I think, is a good one. You can, throw your money into LNG, which is Cheniere Energy, which is providing all of that liquid natural gas out of the Louisiana plants. So I think that's a good one. BOIL is BOIL has clear direction when you look at the charts. Another one that I wanted to bring up today, Deere. Deere, I've been kind of going over Deere, hit or miss. I haven't said, hey, this is an absolute buy. But Deere is just one of those stocks right now that it's killing it. I'm going to need to shrink that down because it's gone up so much. 341 September 29th was an MACD cross up, right on the ex-dividend date, ironically. Their earnings, they came out and they blew away earnings. So I don't know what they're necessarily trading in for in pre-market. I think it's about 416 or so. But their 52-week, if we go over to FinViz and we type in for Deere, let's look at their PE value. Let's look at some of the things. It's not a super expensive stock. I wouldn't expect it to be it's up 21% year to date. It's a 1% dividend. They're expected to grow this year by 118%. Earnings per share next year, 13%. The past 5 years, they've been up 31%. So they've obviously grown. August 11th, Evercore, in line to outperform. There's not a whole hell of a lot of price targets on this one this year. June, 396. April 25th, Bank of America Securities downgraded them, moved their price target from 475 to 450. You're still not at the 450. In March, JP Morgan moved them from underweight to neutral, price target at 440. You're still not at 440. So you can look at Deere, and there's a street.com. There's a bunch of articles here. Let's see if any insider tradings. The options exercise looks like it's in a lot of these sellers. They're selling some in options exercise. So the insiders are taking advantage of the recent run-up. The recent run-up is pretty legendary because if you're going to take a stock like a Deere, which is a huge behemoth of a company, and you're going to buy it at 341 on September 28th, and then what? 2 months later, 1.5 months later, you're all the way up at 416. That's just a crazy move for this type of stock. So I don't know that you're necessarily in this one, but it did hit a secondary scan today, by the way. That was the other reason why I brought it up. If we expand this MACD, you'll see it's kind of hovering around, but it's got the cross up as well, right on the earnings date. And so when it was up here, if this is a guide for you, when it was up here, the last earnings date, August 18th, where they had good earnings as well, we'll shrink this down. Where'd it go? earnings day. It went up for a little bit, few days afterwards, and then it kind of tanked down. That's where I would expect this one to go as well. Let's move the volume. I'm going to move this volume indicator over a little bit. We're going to move. Oh, man, this is why I hate the laptop, and this is why I'll complain about it. We're going to move this over here so we can see some of the volume levels. Yeah, you've got some pretty good volume levels. Nothing necessarily bringing it up, but at 410, it's 52-week high. Let's see, 52-week high low. You're 6% below your 52-week high of 446. You are 46% above your 52-week low, which was 283. So Deere, again, secondary cross-up. I don't necessarily like to buy on secondary cross-ups, but it is one to watch because if we dip down below that 300 level again, buy it. Buy it all day long. Other cross-ups that we have, and all I'm doing is doing some cross-ups today. If you want to invest today, I don't think it's good to buy the day before a holiday, before a rather long weekend, because volumes will just be down on Friday. By the way, BOIL may cross over $60. I just saw it. It's up $8 at $59.50 on a scroll on CNBC. So BOIL, it's got some momentum. Do not chase. Be very, very careful with trading today, because you won't have an ability to get out of trades until Friday morning. It's kind of where I'm at. And you don't know what's going to happen over the holiday. But we had a Microsoft cross-up, and it's a secondary cross-up because we had a cross-up here, 228.66 on November 8th. You're trading at 245. So Microsoft, since that November 8th, which was what? 13 days, 2 weeks ago, on Microsoft, you have a 10% move. Unbelievable. I think you've got all of these gaps up here around 240 to 249. You've got another gap that is slightly below. It's right at the 200-day, but make no mistake about it. Verifying Python. That is definitely TrendSpider doing some live. If you guys don't know, they're on an agile system, and they update their software pretty regularly. I want to say nightly that they get some new stuff, but every now and then I'm logged in and I get a verify of code work. So, but you see these gaps, 240 to 250. So I think you have 250 in this probable run. But you see this gap here. It was covered on the way down. This gap here hasn't been covered on the way up. This gap here hasn't been covered on the way up. But you've got to break that 200-day before any of these are really in the crosshairs. 250 is where this one is. I would expect that to be covered in this one. It's not a super exciting, $5 in a $250 stock. But my opinion, Microsoft is buy and hold. I think anything in the 220 to 240 range, which I don't think 220 is out of the realm of possibility, but if you can't time it, just buy it. When's the best time to buy stocks? Today. Doesn't matter. I mean, again, long term, just buy it today. Short term, you want to be a little bit more careful, especially since we're in a holiday. Another cross up that I had, Mondelez, MDLZ is the symbol. And this is a conglomerate kind of company. We'll go over to FinViz. Let's get the official word of what they do. They are in the sector, consumer defensive confectionaries. It's candy. That's what they do. Let's see. Mondelez, through its subsidiary, manufactures, markets, and sells snack food, beverage products in Latin America, North America, Asia. Products include, the company's snack brands include Cadbury, Milka, Toblerone, Oreo, Belvita, and LU Biscuits, Hall's Candies, Trident Gum, Tang. It serves supermarket chains, wholesalers, blah, blah, blah. Mondelez is just a conglomerate of The most unhealthy food you can buy. Year to date, this is up. It's actually flat year to date. See that chart? Flat from January. Yeah. So it's 50. It's 4% below its 52-week high of 69. It's 21% above its 52-week low. So it doesn't have a huge trading range. The algorithm. Let's look at the algorithm on this one. Mondelez. The algorithm makes you 3% versus buying and holding makes you 14%. Your average win is 5% on this one. This is the reason why I bring this up. It's just a company that is kind of like Coke. You just buy it, and you'll see it grow. Its dividend, let's see, it's got a 2.32% dividend, so it's giving away 2% every year to you. I don't know that I'd necessarily buy it this one. It's a secondary cross up, but I would say anywhere between 50, I'd say anywhere 60 is probably your pivot point on this one. So I think it's a good buy. Another one that we got that is in the energy space, EQT, and you may be able to hear the dog barking in the back. Yeah, she doesn't stay quiet, and I can't yell at her in here because I got the door closed. But EQT is an energy company, and that is one that had a cross up. We had to buy it 43.80. This one, the algorithm makes you 79%. Buying and holding makes you 184%. Your average win is 18%. 27 positions, you win almost 40% of the time. It's 37. So looking at the chart, nothing super exciting. I think because you had this MACD cross up, the latest one, you got a 1% gain. But you see, you could have gotten out of here at 44. It got you out down here around 42. So probably had a 10% gain in there, but you got out with a 1%. 39 to probably 44 is where you were looking at. This one, 43. You probably have 46, 48 in the bag on this one because it is capitulating right around that 200 day. If we let's take off the strategy tester and we'll just kind of look at the chart. I think you may be able to see the whole chart here. See that red line right there? That's the 200 day. See how it broke it? Then it came down. Now it's breaking it again. If we close above that 200 day, then you've got the capitulation probably to cover these gaps between 45 and 50. Which is a good one. And again, you're in the energy space, so you're beholden to energy. Energy is kind of falling flat just in the fears of recession. That's 100% why energy is going down. Buy on weakness. I've said this many times before. Buy energy on weakness. So that's the podcast. I'm just keeping it to 20 minutes because I want you people back with your families. Let me see. Yeah, they're just talking about Boyle, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, have a great Thanksgiving. And again, hit me up on the socials. I'll be sitting and watching football all day tomorrow. So if you need help with your algorithm, if you need help with anything TrendSpider, feel free to reach out to me. TrendSpider also gives you on that middle level, they give you unlimited teaching. So set up a time where you can, work with those guys. I'll help them. I'm going to talk to them about maybe, just working and understanding. When you guys say the algorithm, it will mean nothing to them. They have no clue who I am. I know I'm a partner of theirs, but they, most of those guys have no clue who I am. I don't work for them. I work with them, but I was just brought on and they just kind of knew it because you guys, so many people signed up for them through me. So I appreciate the tips. Thank you to everybody who tipped me. I hope you guys eat a ton of carbs tomorrow. Stuffing, remember, run. Run after you eat all of that food. You're going to need to get back in shape. And don't overdo it with the soda like I do. Yeah, soda's my downfall. But have a great one. I will talk to you later. Okay, now I'm done with the podcast. Now I can export song to disk. Export song to disk. God, I hope this works. I'm going to do MP3. High quality. Export. Bouncing. Okay. That was as good as I can do on short notice. I'm gonna work on this tomorrow. Okay, let me see what you guys are chatting about. Jesse, what is the temperature in Maine? 36. I think it's about that temperature down here. Yeah, I only got 4 people watching. It's the day before Thanksgiving, man. Who wants to watch a podcast on YouTube live? HBI looks pretty appetizing. Let me look at HBI. That's Hanes. Man, you like Hanes. You must have underwear from Hanes. Let's look at the algo. Hey, Zephin, you get all set up on TrendSpider? Let's run it. Bum, 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 bum. Hanes just had their... Oh. Boy, this chart is ugly, man. There is nothing in Hanes brand that tells me that 9 days moving down, the 21 days moving down, the 50 days moving down, the 200 days moving down. The MACD is kind of down on the oscillator. RSI is at 42. Man, you like gambling. Yeah, they can. They can live through anything. GarageBand, quit GarageBand, save, and then let's see, share. Let's see if I can airdrop. Oh no, decline. I want to do it with the MacBook. Why can't I do it with the MacBook? Oh, there we go. Accept. Move it over there. Oh, man, it's not going to do it. Let's see. Share. AirDrop. Let's try. I got my stuff done before the garbage truck showed up. Yeah, their dividend's pretty good. Waiting. I don't want to accept it on my damn. Okay. It was canceled. Okay, let me accept it then. Hopefully this shows up again. Waiting. Zephin, send me a... here, if you have it, what I'll do... let me... I'm not going to log into Instagram while I'm broadcasting. That might be a... I don't want to show you guys all the messages from folks. Zephin, send me a message on Instagram to send you the Apple chart. I'll send it to you from the... Oh, man. Decline. Accept. Of course, now I hit decline, and then I accept. Okay, let me see if this will work. Oh, God. I'm going to have to quit this OBS. I'm going to have to quit this live. MPAA. Let me look at MPAA. I'm going to quit the YouTube live because I just got too much crap to do with getting everybody set up with the algorithm. Did my internet just go down? Oh, MPAA, isn't that the Motion Picture Association of America? Ooh, I tell you what. Oh, AirDrop was canceled. Jesse, man, look at that button hook. So you don't have confirmation of the MACD cross up yet. I'll work on it with you, Zephin. Let me post the podcast. I got to get the podcast all figured out. But look at that button hook right there. You're getting the makings of a bottom button hook. Let me see if you have any real support. It might just be so see, here's the problem. You got the 9-day, the 21-day, and you've got the 50-day, all moving negative. You had the 200-day turning positive. It's close to getting a MACD cross up with the current candle piercing the 9-day, which could mean a turnaround. But let's see. Let's look at they're not making money. They have 5,800 employees. They are down 20% on the year. Their most recent is downgrade. They missed earnings. That's as of the 11th. But they so they missed earnings on the 11th, which is right here, which causes them to drop. Any reaction in the market is an overreaction, which causes them to go back and find support, which could mean that you could find a support level. I think you're bouncing off these volume levels. If I just pull this back to kind of where it was trading at the high there in March. See, you're kind of putting in this support right here between 13 and 14, but you've got to come back to that. And then there's not a whole hell of a lot to support it going back up from a price standpoint. It pierced, yeah. If you're in at the bottom, I mean, you're first off, I think you're playing risky and you're going to lose your entire bet on this one. But my guess is that see how it bounced off the 200-day here? See their earnings last time they went up. They had you go from 60 to 25 to 36, and then there was hope. They lost all hope, and then heading into earnings, used car parts had another, volatile. You went from 14 to 18. And then you just lost it on the earnings. If you're paper trading, I don't think it's a bad thing, but real money, I think you'd get lucky to make money on this. I don't like any of these numbers. Earnings per share quarter over quarter down 280%. Earnings per share this year down 66%. Earnings per share next year, they're expecting a 37% increase. Is that just because it was so bad this year? Your price to sales is they're basically just selling as much as they buy. Yeah, I mean their debt to equity is 0.59. They don't have a lot of debt. Could be a recovery play. If you know that sector, if it moves back, I agree. Okay, I'm cutting this one short. I am done. Zephan, I'll help you later today. I've got a couple other people that I've got to help. Just in case they're listening, I will tell them I've got Alec, I've got you set up. Chris, I've got you set up. Justin, I think you're all set up. Jordy, I think you're all set up. Zephan, I'll help you out. There's also some emails. Google's alert. I've still got to reply. I know Braden's from TrendSpider. Brent, if you're listening, I've been meaning to reply to your email. I'll set you up. I'll get you all taken care of. My apologies. He sent me November 17th. What do we set? Shit. It's been a week since I replied to him. Bad on me, Brent. My apologies on that one. But let me know if you have any questions. Yeah. Send it to me, Zephan. I'll get you set up. And you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you guys for everything. I'm thankful that anybody listens to me. First off, I'm thankful that, hopeful that I can make you guys more money going into the new year. I think those of you that signed up for TrendSpider, I thank you. I think you'll get tons of benefit out of that. I also think that, it'll be easier for you to follow along with me. It'll be great. I think you'll find a lot of benefit out of that one. If you didn't sign up for TrendSpider, I don't think you're handicapped in any way. I think, again, if you're just listening on the to the podcast and doing stuff like that, if you've got a regular job, if you're not looking to really play a lot of volatility, I think you'll do fine. So, I didn't talk to them, Zephan. I haven't had time. I literally yesterday, I left my house at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, and I arrived, 7 p.m. on Monday. I arrived at noontime on Tuesday. So part of the drive was, I think it was just outside of Richmond, or just below Washington, I forget. And it was 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said, okay, I can't keep my eyes open. Autopilot isn't super safe if you can't keep your eyes open. It's still the safest thing, even with your eyes closed. But I pulled off to a gas station where I found a car dealership that had empty parking spaces. And if you guys haven't tried this on Spotify, there is an amazing sleep playlist on Spotify where you guys listen to me. I'm going to put that in the, I'll put a link to it in the podcast description. So if you listen on Spotify, go to this episode after I post it, today's episode, and I'll have a link to the sleep. So in the Tesla, if you have Apple CarPlay, you can do this too. Play it, put your seat back, close your eyes. I literally thought I was going to sleep for 10 to 15 minutes. I went to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. 2 dogs behind me, playing, snoring. I had no remembrance of even, closing my eyes or, any being woken up. It was great. Fantastic sleep. Is he pardoning more people? I think if he thought he could get it through Congress, he would. Republicans won't vote for anything that he does. And if he says, I want a law that legalizes marijuana, The Republicans will just stop it based on the fact that they don't want to pass anything for them, even though half of the Republicans probably agree that it should be legal. So, okay. I am out of here. I will talk to you guys later. I am posting that. Remember, that sleep playlist will be linked on Spotify on the episode. And I may be on, I probably will not be on Friday, by the way. Yeah, I think so too, Jesse. I probably will not be on Friday. I got to go visit family. So you guys are beholden to my family schedule. Okay, guys. I'm done. See you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. Eat a ton. Enjoy.